Welcome to another review. Thank you for tuning in. This time we'll be reviewing Bonk's Adventure, and we'll also be hitting tons of stuff with our head. So the first thing that you'll notice when starting off the game is, much like its great TurboGrafx 16 counterpart, it has unbelievable colors. Now, of course, this is on the NES, so the colors weren't quite as vivid as on the TurboGrafx 16, but it is still quite an interesting game that I do recommend. In fact, this game is probably my favorite NES game out there, just with the mixture of the interesting style of animation, which you can see at this point right here when Bonk is going mad, and all of the different little things you do. Unlike a normal platformer where you just walk side to side, jump on things, or hit them, here you can do a variety of different things, like jump upside down, hit things from the bottom, climb with your teeth, and it's just a wonderful game. See, and you can hit things straight on, or you can jump down on them like he just did right there. So anyways, this game, Bonk's Adventure, is of course based on Bonk, who's the protagonist. Basically, he is a cave boy, and his mission is to rescue the Princess Za, who is a Plesiosaurus-type reptile, and she's been kidnapped by King Jewel, who's a large green Tyrannosaurus-type dinosaur you'll see later on in this game. So that's basically the simple storyline, like many other platformers of the kind. So this game, as I already mentioned, is very colorful and has a great animation. Everything moves nicely and it feels really comfortable. One thing I have to say though is the controls did take a little while to get used to. The timing is a little bit difficult. The exact reason for this is of course because there are many different things you can do with it, and on the NES this of course wasn't usually the case. Like the way that many times you have to jump up and down, or just the different combinations of the D-pad and the A and B buttons that we're not used to seeing on the NES. So although it made for interesting gameplay, it did take quite some time to get used to. Next up is of course, that took me a while to figure out, and sometimes the timing was difficult because of this, but overall the levels are pretty interesting. They're pretty standard levels. You have like the inside the dinosaur level, you have a desert level, you have a water level. So you have basically all of the typical types covered. So yeah, I really love this game. I don't have much to complain about. The only thing is the controls, and that's just I think because the NES was very simple for this game. So yeah, the enemies were absolutely amazing. And speaking of the enemies, let's see the final boss. So here's some footage of the final end game boss fight. Here's the King Jewel, who I was telling you about. He is the, of course, final boss who kidnapped the Princess Za, and it's fairly difficult to defeat him. It wasn't the hardest boss battle I've ever had, but because I find the boss battles in this game are actually quite easy, a lot of them I find can be beaten by simply, you don't really have to put much defense on. You can just kind of just attack them. Like for example, the first boss, which I remember very vividly because it was quite interesting. You just I took so much damage, but it didn't matter because I got all of my health back later on. So that's something that I actually liked about the game. You get a lot of health back. But yeah, it's a really great game. To go over some points, I'd like to highlight, of course, all of the animations. You can see right here, the animations in this game are absolutely incredible. The sounds go along with the game very well, and the gameplay is absolutely amazing. So in conclusion, the graphics, as I've mentioned many times and will continue to say, are quite amazing in this game. The art style to go along with that are great. The controls are only fair, but that is just because I think that it should not be a game on the NES, but I'm very happy it is. It allowed me to play it. And the gameplay is, of course, excellent. The storyline is quite simple, and the game is quite linear, yet does not cease to be an amazing game. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.